What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the CRWN Cinema Podcast. In this episode, we literally just watched Roadhouse. I knew when I was coming into this movie, it was going to be either absolutely fucking terrible or really badass. And Roadhouse, not a great story. This movie wasn't great, but it does a fucking fantastic job at being badass, which is exactly what you want. No complaints, to be honest.
No complaints.
Well, actually, that's not true. I do have some complaints.
I have maybe one. Maybe. Whenever the possibilities could have been endless. Like, there were so many ways that they could have screwed up this movie, from like the casting and then making it too much like the original and just rehashing it, or making it not enough like the original. That's like, okay, well, that's not even Roadhouse.
Yeah.
But it was so good. I would watch that movie again right now.
Yeah.
If we're doing ratings,
yeah, go ahead, give your review.
you're not gonna like it.
Yep. Okay.
It's like, well, it's like with the first Roadhouse. I just freaking love Roadhouse, and I really like the story of this, badass guy that comes in and he's cool. And in this one, Jake Gyllenhaal was funny as fuck. I was giggling the entire time. He kept on saying stuff, and I was like, oh, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I like that they added. So I don't know if I just like the original story so much, and it was such a badass way to modernize it. Every time I was thinking, is it 8 region? No, that's a 9 movie for me.
That's a 9er for you?
Out of pure enjoyability, like the first one.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I gave the first one. I think it was up there too.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But I haven't felt that way about a movie other than Dune. Obviously, like I'd watch Dune 10 times over, but I was like, damn, that's a movie that I'd be like sitting at home, maybe even by myself, and I'd be like, I'm gonna put Roadhouse on. Yeah,
when you compare it, because the original wasn't a great movie, but it's a classic, and it's super fun to watch because the characters are awesome. It's just a badass movie, very much tailored to dudes. And so when they made this movie, they did everything possible to make it cool. They put it on a beach. They had Jake Gyllenhaal. They had Conor McGregor. The opening scene shows Post Malone. So everything about it is just trying to pander to its audience because they know exactly who wants to watch this Roadhouse remake. It's people that love the original. So they're going to pander to their audience, which is exactly what they did. And they did a great job at it.
It worked.
Perfect. You were saying it before the podcast, the music is awesome. The shots are really cool. The setting is really badass. Jake Gyllenhaal plays a really good badass. Conor McGregor's acting was never bad.
No.
He played a perfect character, mainly because they just wrote Conor McGregor as that character.
Yeah. But you know what? There were a couple of times, like whenever he's fighting Dalton the first time, and he like sees that Dalton is not going to let up, and his face changes very subtly. But that's where I was like, okay, that's good acting.
Yeah.
Because it is really, really easy to just play who you are, and he saunters in. That's very much his character. That's why everyone freaking loves him in the UFC, is that he's entertaining to watch. But then that moment where he's like, oh, dang, like I've never fought someone like this. He's used to being the dominator in that.
He's like, oh, fuck, I found an equal.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's like, there's something wrong with you,
Yeah. He's like, but me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the biggest thing that was my issue with the movie is their use of their CGI. There was, like, in the beginning with the Post Malone fight, that fight was a CGI fight at sometimes. Like, the bad guy was literally fully CGI. I'm like, why do this? Like, just use movie magic. Do some techniques with the camera work to make it real. Rocky Balboa back in the day shot it, real, and it looked like shit sometimes, a lot of shots, but still, they did it real. We'll let it go as long as it looks good.
Especially to choose that one to use it on when it wasn't that
the
big
opening
of a
scene.
Yeah.
The opening scene, they're gonna use like shitty CGI. Everybody can tell. Everybody knows when it's CGI, so you can't really get away with it. And then there was a few other scenes. I'm like, that was terrible CGI. Like, it looks good, but you still know that it's CGI. So it's like, oh, come on.
Are you talking about? I think I know what you mean, in a sense that, like, so when McGregor and Gyllenhaal were fighting, it was very fast paced, and I feel like they coupled camera work maybe with CGI to make their head look like they're snapping back super hard, because that's one thing that I was gonna say is all of the violence in this movie was super intense.
Yeah.
Like, there's cars hitting him, and the camera shows like the car go up super fast. I was like, oh my, I felt that.
Yeah, it was
Holy
so,
shit.
all the fights were so brutal and so impactful, which is what you, again, they're
that's what you
pandering
want.
to their
Yeah.
audience. They're making it as badass as possible.
Yeah. And
So-
the audio was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Whoever was fantastic, that it was so like the crunch, the
Mhm.
splat, and their head whipping, it made it really, really realistic to the point where I was like, oh, like there were so many
Yeah.
moments I had to look away.
Yeah, the sound was really, really, really impactful. It was kind of like how the Batman made you feel when he's hitting him. It's like, oh, like you feel the power of that punch.
Yeah.
So if I had to give it my rating, I'm going to give it I'm dropping it down just a little bit only because of that CGI. That really sucks they did that. It's just like, come on, like we're doing Roadhouse. Make it real. Like don't take us out of it with the stupid CGI. That's how you're not going to let it last, because of the CGI.
Yeah.
That's why it's going to be stupid. It's like, oh, that was shitty. Because even if in today's world, the CGI, you can tell it's CGI, in the future, you're always going to be told it's CGI. So I don't think it's going to be timeless because of that, to be honest. Like I think that kind of ruins a lot of movies sometimes.
Do you think that's something that only you notice though, because you watch a lot of movies and you know the inner workings of it? Do you think an average audience wouldn't notice that?
I think you can tell. You could tell they were CGI, couldn't you?
I don't know. In that first one, because it was really dark, and it could be that maybe just their fight choreography wasn't as good, because someone like Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor that have experience actually like fighting, or at least Jake Gyllenhaal filming movies where he's supposed to be fighting. I feel like you know how your body's supposed to go depending on where the camera's at. So it could be that at the beginning, Post Malone, who's not a usual actor, and whoever the other bald guy was that was getting the shit beat out of him, maybe wasn't as good at portraying like that badass fight right out of the gate.
That's the director and the fight coordinator's job to figure out how to make it look good.
I'm just saying that maybe that's why. But I saw what you meant, but it didn't ruin it for me.
Yeah, it didn't ruin it. I'm just like, I just really was disappointed in the fact that the CGI was noticeable and that they even used it. You could, I mean, I guess the car crashes you have to use it, but still, it's just, I didn't really like the use CGI. But I'm going to give it a 6.7. That's pretty good for this.
That just hurt me so bad.
Well, it's definitely not like a 9 when it comes to like.
I do think that you and I's like rating scales are very different.
Mhm.
Because I don't put everything into one category. And then, because you said it with Roadhouse, our Roadhouse episode, which if you haven't watched it, you should go back and watch it.
Yes.
That you said, if I give it a 9, then I give it the same as the Iron Claw. And I was like, no, to me, there's a difference between like a movie that's very artsy. So let's say like Poor Things is not in the same category as Roadhouse. They're two different movies. One is for enjoyability, like you said, pandering to the audience. It's badass. And the other one is for like artistic purposes. It's for the performances and the costume and the shots. And hell, I think the performances in this movie were really good. Like I thought the casting around, even your dad said that he didn't like the rich douchebag kid. That man looked just like Joe Burrow. I was like, oh shoot, they got Joe Burrow.
I liked him. I liked his acting.
Him too.
He played a really good rich douchebag.
Well, and he played a really good, kid that's trying to fill his father's shoes, because we find out that his father's in prison, which is another reason why they left it open. Because in that last shot, spoiler alert, like he stabs McGregor, and there's one last shot where you see the rich kid dead on the ground. And I was like, oh shit, his body's not there. And then Jake Gyllenhaal just leaves. I'm like, no, you can't just leave the town. That's not how it ends.
Yeah.
And I was like, they better be leaving it open. And I think they did.
I think they will too.
I think they will too, because it ends.
The boss is still alive.
Scene. Yeah. And he's really calling the shots. He's like, you think your dad doesn't know what's really going on? So he'll get out eventually.
Yeah. McGregor, because after cutscene shows McGregor getting out of the hospital, he's for sure coming back if they make a second one.
Hell yeah.
He did a great job.
Fantastic.
Like I was kind of worried about his acting, thinking it might be real shitty, but no, like it's, of course he's kind of playing himself and like a villain type of character, but it's really like his personality. It's funny. The first scene he comes into, he leaves that window, walks out, literally dick swinging.
Yeah.
Like that's how he enters the movie.
Yeah.
Dick swinging, walking
and
around.
ass out.
Yeah.
And he does, we talked about this because we watch Tough and UFC and stuff like that, is that he really slimmed down for this movie, which means he probably stopped whatever he was taking, that he got more cut. Because in Tough, he was super puffy. And not like...
They probably filmed that right after his leg healed. And they had
and he was on a bunch of...
For his to heal quicker.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what... Even Jake Gyllenhaal, man. I was like, and your dad is like, I never thought he was a good looking dude until this movie. This movie single-handedly made me like Jake Gyllenhaal.
We got a big Swiftie over here.
You know, and I think if she can get past it, so can I. So I will say that I thought his performance was phenomenal.
He's a great actor. He's a great actor.
He is, yes. But this is the role, like, I felt like he embodied the character and what Patrick Swayze was as well, that he's cool and he doesn't have to be flashy because he just is what he is.
Yeah.
And I think he embodied that well, but he was very humorous and witty. And then
that's because he's so badass. He knows, and no matter what situation he's in, he can kick your ass. He's not scared ever.
Yeah, very kind person.
Yeah, he's only fearful of what he could do to other people.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're a fucking badass.
Yeah. Well, and I loved how they kept it kind of the same, how he interacts with everyone in the town. It's like, what Red was the little girl and her dad that owned the bookstore. That's the first people in town that he meets, right? So check right there. And then they end up being a bigger part of the story. And then you have the other bouncers, the younger bouncers that he teaches how to be better at their jobs. And check right there. And then the owner.
I do wish they kind of did a little bit more of that. I do wish there was more focus on like the bar learning Dalton's ways. But in this one, they didn't, like, it's just kind of a few scenes and it's really not him. There's just two bouncers that he knows. You don't, like, it's not the team.
Yeah.
Like, he's not the fucking bouncer showing them the ropes of how to clean up a bar.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, not this movie. This movie is not that storyline.
I was about to say, I feel like there was more maybe fighting and maybe about what was really going on, because in this one, it's like they're moving drugs and they're moving money.
It's more of like a crime mystery, like what's going on in this town, like why is it so tough, like what's happening, and he's trying to uncover this criminal underworld that he's got asked to, dissolve, even though he doesn't know any of the details.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling him anything. He's like, what the hell's going on with this town?
Yeah. I thought that he was going to bring Post Malone in whenever he recruited that other kid.
Yeah, me too.
The boxing kid. I was like, oh, is he going to bring in Post Malone? Maybe in the second one.
I guess that's
maybe
why.
He'll come back.
Maybe. Shit. I guess that's why they didn't advertise Post Malone until like towards the end of the movie, because he's not, like, if he would be like the face of it, they're talking about it, he's only in one scene. You would have been like, wait, what? That's all Post Malone's in this movie for?
And I think that song at the beginning.
Yeah, that was his song.
That was, well, yeah, but I think it was the first one from his like country album that he's doing, his country rock album.
Yeah.
And so I was like, if that is beautiful advertising for that, or just like to release, it's like, oh, where is that song at? Oh, it's from his brand new Genre Shift album.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
I wish this was a theater release.
Yeah, I would have loved to see this in the theater.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I guess, if you kind of think about the audience that's going to watch this, it's probably going to be the people that have grew up watching it. Maybe that's who they're thinking their audience is going to, like, their audience is for, is like, paying respect to the old timers that love Roadhouse back when they were growing up. And those people don't go to the theater anymore. They're all about watching it at home. Like the theater.
Yeah.
Really, most people don't really go to the theater too much anymore, unless it's like Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
And even then, you're trying to like tell people like, no, you should go see it. And people are seeing it later.
Yeah.
But so maybe they just did an at-home release because it's got McGregor. It's like got a very sellable factor. It's got Gyllenhaal, McGregor, Post Malone was in it. It's Roadhouse. It's like a very dude classic movie.
Well, and they're using the, obviously the classic part of it to bring in the older audience that remembers the first one, but they're also appealing to a younger audience, making him a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Because then to us that we really like UFC, it's like the same interest. So it's like, oh, he's a UFC fighter. I like UFC, so I'll probably watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I love Conor McGregor, so I'll probably watch it. I love Post Malone. So it's like those little things that they're using to modernize it that are intentional, and it fucking worked. Because it was it was pretty freaking good.
It was good. And I'm really glad they made it a different story. Instead of just remaking it the same fucking thing, 'cause that never works.
Yeah.
It's never as good as the original because it's just not the original. You're just copying it. And it's just like, we like Patrick Swayze better.
Yeah.
But they did a whole different story, a whole different type of town. You know, he's in the Florida Keys.
Yeah. But also kind of the same. It's different, but the same.
No,
To me, it made me feel like the way that he still cares for this small town that everybody grows up in and you never really leave and everyone knows everybody. That aspect was the same. His character was kind of the same. But that's what I mean, that they kept enough from the original that it felt like a Roadhouse movie, but the way that they modernized it was really, really smart in ways that wouldn't change what makes the classic the classic.
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't take away. You're not like pissed because that's not Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Because it's different, but it's also paying homage to the old one.
Yeah.
There's so many little details.
Yeah, the double deuce.
Yeah, when they next, if you've seen the movie, if you notice, next to the bookstore is a restaurant called the Double Deuce.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
And there's a few other parts that are very similar to the old one that just you're like, oh, there it is. Oh, nice, there it is.
Yeah.
Although I'm really disappointed there was no throat grab. I wish so bad there was a fucking.
But
that's the whole
feel
point. That's like fucking that's Roadhouse.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it was a good thing that they didn't do it. That they left that with Swayze.
Yeah, I guess so.
That was that Roadhouse's thing for him. The fact that he's notorious for. Oh, we gotta talk about that.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor called him notorious, but that he was notorious for just killing someone inside of the ring. Like I feel like. The fact that people knew who he was just from his UFC career is kind of the same feel of how people knew Dalton for, what he did.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't have a signature move. Like, I love that the first fight that what he chooses, because he could have punched any of them. He bitch slaps all of them and puts them all on the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was really freaking funny. He's like, oh, I just slap you.
Yeah, my favorite is when he like fakes a slap and the guy flinches and he smacks the other side of his face.
There were so many moments I was giggling.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I loved all the fight scenes. The CGI parts really upset me, but all the fight scenes were so cool.
So cool. So badass.
Yeah.
Even like the boat scenes and the boat crash, they just made it look so real. Like it was almost too real. I was like, oh, I can't watch this.
That'd be a really, really fun movie to film out in the sun, at the beach, in the Florida Keys, because a lot of it wasn't, like they were actually on the beach. For shooting it, right? They had a cool ass bar they were shooting at.
Yeah.
Such a cool sets. Like the set design was just so pretty because you're at the beach.
Yeah.
Which is just a cool place to make it because it's attractive.
Yeah.
It's a cool choice, making it in this like, because the old Roadhouse is just at a, dusty old Roadhouse off the highway in like a small town.
Where is that?
The original?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know why I want to say Jackson. Like
Mississippi?
I don't know. This is why we need you, Scott.
Yeah. I can look it up.
No, but Jake Gyllenhaal did such a good job at just being like that same Dalton character that like if you don't mess with him, you love him. And he's so kind and he has this like I told you at the beginning, I was like, that smile is gonna make me like him. And he was just so, just like a gentle person, but then whenever the tide changed, and that was a really, really good scene for him to be like, whenever he alludes to, oh, I'm scared. Or are you afraid? And he's like, yeah, I'm very afraid.
Yeah.
And we were like, he's afraid of what he'll do to fuck you up.
Mm-hmm. The original was in Missouri.
Okay. Where, okay.
And I guess it is kind of water-esque because of the lake or river or whatever.
Yeah, because they were on water at a certain point.
Yep.
I thought the girl was a great choice.
Yep.
She was super pretty, and she was a lot like I thought making her father the sheriff that's tied into it made it a little bit more interesting because in the first one, Doc had a connection to the bad guys as well.
He like dated her or something, right?
Yeah, we never got clarity on that.
I think
the old guy like was married to her or something.
Nah, I don't know.
Something like that.
Oh, in this movie you're saying?
No. In I also was wondering that too, if she dated the rich guy, the rich kid, but I don't think she did. I think it's just that her
sheriff.
father was the sheriff.
Yeah.
Corrupt sheriff.
Yeah.
And it made me just as mad in the first one, like how much they're just like beating the shit out of him. Like at one point in this one, he like, the guy tries to kill him on his houseboat, and then he's walking back and he gets hit by the truck, and then he shows up at his houseboat and he's just like, man, like, can I get one night's peace? And I was like, oh, Dalton.
That's why he gets pissed off, because he can't catch a break.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are really trying to hurt me.
Yeah. I think the only Patrick Swayze's Dalton was very like spiritual. Way more, he's doing
Martial
the Tai
arts,
Chi and all that. Like and I think he really does see himself as like this like feather on the wind that's like, you know, carrying him wherever. And even though, or wherever he's meant to be. And even though that wasn't very big in this one, Jake Gyllenhaal tries to kill himself like one of the first scenes. And then his like second chance, he like looks at the number in the dashboard. So maybe that's him trying to follow that, as well as whenever he tries to leave the first time, he misses the bus. So then he's like, oh gosh, I guess I'm meant to be here.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't say that outright, but I found that connection really interesting as well.
I was hoping to, you know, we're obviously going to be comparing this to the original because it's a remake. I wish there was like a Wade Garrett type character.
Yeah, me too.
That book talked about somebody called Wade
That was the main character of the Western.
The Western
Wade,
book.
Wade something, but it's, you know, someone who gets brought in and he's meant to clean up places.
Yeah.
And then I looked over at you and I was like, maybe the original Roadhouse was based off of that type of book and that story.
Yeah.
And then we're just now getting a callback from it.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. And the beginning is mainly where all the callbacks happen, which is good because it doesn't make it like, all right, we get it throughout the entire movie. It's like, we know it's a remake. They drop them all in the beginning. So you're like, oh yeah, we're, Roadhouse. But then the whole story is different. So like it takes its own path with how they go about it.
Yeah. It's almost like a hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you'd be like, oh, it's a double deuce.
Yeah.
For the nostalgic purposes, because I think nostalgia is such a powerful thing in movies, and that's why people are remaking all these movies, is because when you get older, I feel like you try to catch chase how you felt whenever you were younger, the first time that you watched it.
Yeah.
So it's that itch that you're wanting to scratch to like feel that again is what fuels this nostalgic, thing, especially in not Hollywood, not just Hollywood now, but in just cinema, period.
Yeah.
That's why they're making so much money off of these remakes.
And I mean, yeah, it's also these studios are scared to make originals because probably with COVID shutting down theaters, they weren't making any money. So then they just need to make up their money. And they know it's a safe bet to make a remake. It'll make money just because they know fans will go and watch it. So it's just safer bets. They're not risking a lot of their money on originals.
Yeah. Can you check Rotten Tomatoes again? Because when we looked, it was like 64%. But
that
it
was like in the morning when it came out.
The first day that it came out. And I just want to say, if you didn't like this movie, we just cannot be friends because I love this movie. And if you didn't like it, I feel like you're just hating on it for no reason. And if you can give me 10 really good reasons why you didn't, maybe I will accept that.
It's still at 59% audience score, 63 critic. Although the thing about Rotten Tomatoes, it came out that they pay critics to rate the higher, so it's not legit.
Hate that.
That's why you see critic ratings, and that's why you see audience scores so different because the fucking critics get paid to do it.
Everything's corrupt. Every mass thing.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it to the people, man.
Yeah, it's at a 6.3 on IMDb. But again, it's probably people upset that it's not as good as the original. When the original is actually not very good, too. Dude,
just like enjoy something for once. Holy shit.
That's why I went into this movie not really expecting it to be like a fucking amazing movie with great plot development and great, deep characters. We're watching Roadhouse.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to be a little surface level at times, and it's just going to be a badass movie because that's exactly what you want.
Yeah. Well, and also, if you didn't enjoy the first one, what makes you think you're going to like this second one or the remake? If it's not your type of movie, then it's not your type of movie.
Yeah.
But I was reading the reviews and just shitting on it. And I was like, man, I don't get it. Just freaking enjoy something and not be a hater.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
There's some things that didn't really hit. Like, I guess the relationship developing, like in Roadhouse, you feel their relationship's a little bit tighter. This one,
because
they
it
don't
was
really
a
get
bigger part of the movie.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's like the relationships that he builds with the people, I think, is stronger in the first one. It's almost like you feel like his tie to the town is stronger in the first one.
Yeah.
But in this one, the grand scheme of the criminal activity is what makes up a lot more of the movie.
Yeah, which I think that's probably another flaw, is that he really doesn't get connected to the town as much. Like, it's just the chick in the bookstore, cool. It's the girl, kind of. He doesn't. I mean, the other girl really the girl that owns the Roadhouse talks to Dalton
Probably
more than
the
he
most,
does.
yeah.
But there's not really like a friendship there. It doesn't seem with Dalton. I guess
I
kind of.
did really like her, though.
Yeah, she was cool.
Yeah.
But a lot of these relationships weren't really developed, and I guess it kind of glossed over. But the badassery saved it, because you're watching it for the badassery.
Yeah.
I did like her character, though. That the chick that
Frankie.
Yeah, that owned the Roadhouse.
Yeah, she was cool.
It was cool because, like, her backstory is that her black father opened up a roadhouse.
Uncle.
Oh, uncle. Sorry, it was uncle. You're right.
Yeah.
Her uncle opened up a roadhouse in the South and ran it. So she's like, her motivation to keep this thing alive is that, her uncle didn't give a shit. Like, he was hard, because being a black man back in the South, back in the day, opening up a roadhouse where a bunch of white dudes go in there and get drunk. He kept it alive still, despite all the racism he probably had, and the roadhouse probably got trashed its whole life because of that. Well, and so her just wanted to honor that and keep. She's like, I'm not taking no shit.
Yeah,
which is just cool. It's a cool little backstory.
I didn't know if that was intentional. That it was like you said, a black family owned business, and then this rich white family is coming in to clear it out to build resorts for a bunch of rich people. So probably. I feel like that also maybe like sublimity, in your subconscious is trying to tell you, like, put more stakes on it. Yeah. That it's like, oh man, you can't do that to those people. But it's like, I mean, I feel like that would be that with anybody, because then it's also like, this is a local business, and then the idea of like the big machine coming in and mowing it all down, that trope really, really makes me mad. So it makes you more invested in the town, no matter what, because it's all these tiny, tiny businesses.
Okay. I just realized that I'm wrong about hoping. It makes sense when I said I was hoping to see him like coach the team in the Roadhouse to protect the Roadhouse for her, like him being the badass bouncer. It's because he's not a bouncer. He's a fighter. Yeah. So I guess I was wrong there, expecting it to be like the old one, because the old one, Dalton's a badass bouncer. Like, that's his job. He goes. Cooler. Yeah, he goes. Yeah, he's the cooler. He goes around to the bars to fix him up. Dalton doesn't do that. He's like, I'm not fixing a bar, but he does it anyway for the money and to help this chick out. Yeah. So that's why you don't see him really coaching the team, because he picks up a fighter to come and handle him. So he's not like a bouncer that knows how to handle a bar, really. Yeah. He just knows how to kick ass. Yeah. And there's not really much that we know about. That's another difference between the original, is that whenever he comes in, the only thing that we really know about him is that he, and you can foresee that he probably killed somebody in the ring, and that's why he's so fucked up in the head. But all you know is that he's a fighter. Whereas with Dalton, there's a bunch of in the original with Dalton, there's a bunch of whispers about his whole entire like bouncer career. Yeah. And Wade Garrett and stuff like that. But what was cool to introduce him as like a scary motherfucker is that Post Malone, they say, hasn't won a fight or hasn't lost a fight in like 7 fights. It's like, oh, you don't want to go up against him. And he pulls his hood off and he looks at his face. He doesn't even finish taking off his shoes. And he's like, no, I'm not fighting him. And he gets a stack of cash just from walking in the ring and pulling his hood off. Because they know that he's killed somebody in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
after he's won a fight, he's kept fighting and killed somebody.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm not fighting that guy. He's not going to hold back. Like, this isn't just a fight to him. This is war.
Yeah. I wish there was more backstory on that, because at a certain point he says, this is how people find out what happens when you push me too far. And they kind of drop in there that the guy that he was fighting was his friend. So I thought at a certain point we would have found out maybe what led him to not pulling up after, it was done.
Yeah.
I would assume that his friend pushed him too far. And I don't think that was just in the ring.
Yeah,
you're getting beat up in the ring. That's what happens.
Yeah, they didn't dive into that at all. They just kind of hinted toward it, and they didn't really fill you in.
Maybe their intention is to go back in the second one.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because I know the director was really upset that this wasn't a theater release. Like, I think they told him it was going to be a theater release, and then it ended up not being one. And so he was really pissed about it.
Yeah.
Because maybe he was banking on the fact that this would make a lot of money in the box office, so that way they can guarantee a second one. Because obviously the ending drops a lot of hints at, the story not being finished.
Yeah. He leaves her.
And McGregor's back.
That was about to be my first, I stood up and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, he can't leave. And then I was like, wait. McGregor's body was gone. And then we saw the cutscene. I was like, oh, okay. I get another one. And I don't mind it.
I don't mind it either.
I'm excited for it. Please make it.
McGregor's a fun one. I like how they kept his tattoos as they were.
Yeah, but they added the Knox ones.
This wasn't a gorilla either. It looked like they kind of covered it up. This chest one.
This one?
Yeah.
I thought it was the exact same.
No, maybe, but you couldn't see it really. Because McGregor's chest tattoo now is a gorilla eating a heart.
Yeah.
So
I think they also had his hair grown.
Maybe.
That's what I thought, was that his chest hair was grown. And then he has the Knox. And then I asked you about the one, he has a battle axe on his back that I don't think he has.
I think that's more symbolic of his character, that he comes in and just to chop things down.
Yeah. Because I liked how
he's just destructive in nature. His only role in life is to destroy things.
Yeah. Well, that's where that first scene when you meet a character is so pivotal to the rest of the movie, because you want the audience to understand who that character was from the beginning, because then throughout the movie, you're not surprised at the stuff that they do. Because you understand the type of character that he is. That first one, he comes out buck-ass naked, and then he goes up to a guy and he wants his jacket, and then it goes black. And when it comes back up, everything's on fire.
Yeah.
You're like, this is a mean motherfucker.
Yeah, he don't give two shits, and we'll just kill, destroy, whatever.
He's on the phone with him, and he's like, yeah, I'll be right there. And he's smiling. And he's walking that McGregor walk that entire time. I'm like, oh, man.
Easy first role for him to play.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Do I think he'll play any other type of role? Probably not. Maybe he's going to end on top. If he got good reviews from this one, he's like, I had fun doing it.
He's mentioned wanting to make movies after his UFC career.
Yeah.
Because there's a fuck ton of money in being an actor.
Yeah. And I don't know. What do you think you think he's not fighting Chandler so that he doesn't, they'll never kick him out, right? They'll always keep him in for entertainment
talking about real
purposes.
UFC?
Yeah. I think he's not. And I love Conor McGregor. I would love to see him beat the crap out of Michael Chandler, but I don't know about that fight.
Well, I think apparently is confirmed for summertime this year, but
I've been waiting like a year.
I think the
Tough
issue
was last summer.
I think the issue was that he couldn't pass a drug test. His camp knew he couldn't pass a drug test probably, so they kept backing him out.
Yeah.
Delaying. For
the last two fights, it was his freaking ankle because it was fractured, and then with Piore, it just snapped again. So, and he should have waited longer. Remember in the documentary, they said that he should have waited longer from that first injury.
Yeah.
So it was already a previous injury.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe they're waiting on that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But he does need to figure something out because he's getting a little old too.
Yeah. He was talking about in interviews that him and Jake Gyllenhaal said when Conor joined the team and was on the cast, he said, I'm a student. I don't know anything about this stuff, so you need to teach me everything you know so I can be good at it. And then Jake was like, me too. Like, you teach me everything I need to know about these fight scenes and how to throw punches and, you know, how to look good, you know, while we fight. So like they both were depending on each other for these fight scenes. And the fight scenes were great because, you know, watching Conor, he's like, the way he can throw a punch is second nature. And I'm curious if like when he was fighting, if there was ever issues with him, like, I guess not. He's so controlled. He's the best of the best. He can control himself.
Yeah.
But like, I was always thinking like whenever they were wrestling on the ground, if McGregor was just like fucking with him and like fucking with jiu-jitsu his ass and put him in like headlocks and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I liked about it, is that it wasn't just, as much as I love striking power more than anything and knockout power, I do like that they kind of got brought to the ground at some point, because it is a nod to like the fact that he is a trained fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whenever you're not in UFC, that's kind of all you do is just throw punches, you know, but that shows that he's a trained weapon, that he can bring him to the ground. And then that there were so many moves, I was like, oh, so fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I liked about watching Tough, was that it made me understand the sport a little bit more. There were like, I saw myself watch him almost set up for a guillotine. I was like, oh shit, he's gonna put him in a guillotine, and he didn't, but it was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
I liked it a lot.
I wonder if they picked that whenever McGregor gets choked out at the end of the movie. I wonder if they were picking that because McGregor's, when he lost to Khabib, he lost with the choke. Like he got choked out when he lost to him. So I wonder if that's like, oh, he's almost about to lose the choke again.
Yeah.
Then he gets out of it.
Yeah. When he stabbed him, I was like, well, you missed his heart, one. And then he's walking away, and I'm like, don't turn your back on him. Mm-hmm. That's a mean motherfucker on the ground right there.
Yeah. I did think I can't give you some examples. I don't remember it specifically, but I remember when I was watching it, some of the dialogue seemed a little corny a little bit.
Yeah.
It was just kind of just like it wasn't that greatly delivered, or maybe it wasn't well written, whatever the case may be. We're just, I don't know, it was kind of just progressing the storyline without just kind of just checking the boxes to get the storyline going. It wasn't like that great. I felt a little corny at times.
Yeah, but that's not what it was for. But I do understand there was in that last fight when, the piano. They're on the piano, and he's like, I think this piano's out of tune. They stopped the fight to talk, and then he's like, sounds good to me. I was like, oh, no, not necessary.
I don't mean
you should have just kept fighting.
I didn't mind really the fight commentary when they were talking to each other. I didn't really mind any of those because it's just, you know, that's just adding some flavor to the fights, making it, you know, how Roadhouse is, sort of.
That's such a backwards thing for me, because usually I'm like, oh my God, I can't stand fight scenes. It's a whole lot of nothing. But in this one, they were so like interesting and intricate, and the sound effects really added to it. And this was like someone that I enjoy watching fight anyways, that I was like, put more fight scenes in there. It was so badass.
There's a lot of, there's a lot of fights. There's like 4 or 5 fights.
There were a lot of big ones. Yeah.
But the ending was cool. It was very stylized, which kind of hid a lot of the fighting, which it would have been cooler to see it.
You mean with the shots?
Yeah, like it would like pan up and there would be a lot of glares, and which was cool. I did like that stylized, but you know, it's nice seeing the action.
True. But I feel like it didn't just make it 2D. Like that one where you like become Gyllenhaal, like from his eyes, and you're seeing McGregor fight you.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting that it broke up a pretty long fight.
Yeah, it just feels a little awkward at times when they do that POV look, because it's kind of difficult to do it because it's like a giant camera they have to hold. So like it almost kind of feels awkward with whenever they have those scenes. I felt like when it went to POV, like it was cool in some moments, but like I think the first one, it felt a little awkward.
When did they do it again? Because I only remember it from that last one.
They did it in the beginning, whenever it was the Post Malone fight.
Oh, from what POV? From Post Malone's POV?
I can't remember.
Oh, because I only remember it from that last one, and I think they did a good job at. It's almost like it reminded me of when you're like playing Call of Duty, and you're like from that POV, and you like get hit, and it's like the ringing, and everything's hazy. That's what it kind of reminded me of.
I also thought a little bit awkward edited and shot was whenever his flashback with the UFC, when you finally saw what happened. I felt like that little cut to when like Gyllenhaal's face like raging.
Oh,
that seemed a little corny to me. Is like
maybe
it seemed awkward in the edit. Like it seemed like when it cuts to it, it's a little awkward, and the way it's shot's awkward because it's like he's fighting in a UFC fight and then he stops and just like levels up and then goes and just rages.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to show the snap.
Yeah.
Because his eyes were wild.
Yeah.
It made him animalistic.
Yeah,
that there was nothing to do to stop him, that he was going to kill that guy.
Yeah, it shows that switch you have in your head when you just get fucking so angry you can't think straight. That, you know, it does show it, but it just felt a little awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't like stuff like that when I feel like it doesn't serve a purpose, but I feel like it did. I feel like it was a good point because to us, it's really hard to think like that you can't just stop punching somebody. It's like, why can't you just stop? But that was a good way to signify, to show like the wildness in his eyes. We knew that there was nothing that anyone could do. That tiny ass ref trying to hold back Jake Gyllenhaal from freaking just on the ground. No, there was nothing gonna stop that.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, it just felt awkward. I get what they're doing. It worked. You understood it, but just didn't feel smooth.
Yeah. Yeah. But I thought altogether it was so good. Mm-hmm. I would watch it again, and I don't really feel like that about movies. That I'm like, I'm okay with like a one and done type of thing for a while, but like I would watch this one in a couple of weeks. I would never watch like Saltburn again.
No. No, but it's very, very fun. Super enjoyable.
Fun.
Super enjoyable. Because again, it's just like, this movie is primarily focused on just being fun.
Yes.
It's not trying to be a great movie. Yeah, it is okay. You need some fun movies to just turn on and not think about, and just like, it's got to be really, really enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah. But then I like a movie like this that's action and with fight scenes, and maybe it's just the nostalgia of it that I love the first one and that I like Conor McGregor that made me like it. But I don't normally like movies like that. Like the Mission Impossible movies, those are boring movies to me. Like these, high car chases, whatever, like those aren't fun movies to me. This one was a really, really fun movie. I don't know if it was like the story that I already knew or the characters.
Yeah.
But altogether, 9.
There's something, again, I gave it like a 6. I gave it a 6.7 because there's some things where it's just like they happen, but it doesn't get built very well. Like whenever he kills the dude that burned the bookstore, he gives him to the sheriff and has the sheriff kill him, and then that ends. Like you don't even get any closure on that end of the storyline. The crocodile, they hint at it, and the crocodile kills that guy, but there's nothing that comes of it. It's just that the crocodile killed that person. It's like, okay. That crocodile was talked about so much, and they had that scene in the middle of the movie whenever the crocodile ate the Daryl. What was his name? Dell. They killed Dell. Okay. You're expecting it almost to come up again at the end of the movie or something. I was thinking he was going to take the guy he broke his throat. I thought he was going to put him, I guess that was a reference, breaking his throat.
Yeah. Oh.
But throwing him in with the crocodile pit or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and then the crocodile didn't bother him. So it's almost like, I don't know, maybe I'm just reaching here, but the crocodile kind of being a part of the town, that like it didn't bother him once, but then it like ate the person that was bothering him. And because I think he held off on killing people for a while, like even whenever he killed that guy, he technically didn't, because the crocodile killed him. And he didn't really kill somebody until he snapped. He just hurt them. And I liked in that first one, after he bitch slaps everybody and breaks their arms and stuff, and he drives them to the hospital.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to, show that he's not a bad guy.
No, he's not. He doesn't want to hurt people.
No, he's just a fucking weapon. Like, don't mess with him. He's like, oh, man, like, are you really going to make me do this? He's like, I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah. He's a loaded gun. Don't fuck with it or else something's going to happen.
Yeah. How far is the nearest hospital? Like 25 minutes. By the way, that one,
that was a funny
the
character.
henchman, he was really funny.
Yeah. He just wanted to ride bikes and just have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. He like helps him out in the end, gives him the information where the rendezvous point is.
Yeah.
And he's like, thanks for not violence.
Yeah.
And he rides off. And he's then at the end, thanks for the ride.
Yeah. He's a funny character, just literally doesn't want any of the smoke. He's just there to hang out.
Yeah.
But he'll He's part of the team. He's a team player.
Yeah.
It was good,
It was
though.
good.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend it. And if you are a hater, you're just a hater. Sorry.
It was
You
good,
just
though.
don't enjoy fun things, apparently.
All right. Any final words on Roadhouse, the remake?
I hope they make the second one. If they don't, then I would be disappointed for how it ended. Because I don't like that he just left. Because Dalton didn't. Dalton doesn't really just leave.
Yeah.
At least in the first one, I think he had, because he had intentions of leaving, but then he's like, I have to come back because this is, and maybe that will happen in the second one, that Jake Gyllenhaal's like, I have unfinished business, and Ellie's there. You have to go back for Ellie.
Right.
You know, I'm assuming he's not just going around being with women. That's like a pretty unique thing for him.
Yeah.
Whenever she like kind of breaks past his like wall that he puts up.
Yeah.
You know, she's different. She broke past the wall.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah.
So
It all depends on if it performs. If people like it and want another one, they'll make it.
Second one.
And maybe it'll get a theater release.
Make another one. Yeah.
I doubt it, though. Since this one came out Prime, I bet it just comes out Prime again.
Which is so bullshit because it does like keep so much money from the people that make it happen. Because maybe they restructured it now from the strikes.
I don't know.
I bet they did.
I'm not sure the inner workings of how that deal went. But I know they get a fat check when they make a movie, so maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure how it works.
Yeah, but then with box office releases, they get the check, and then for how it does in the box office, you keep on making money. I would assume for the streaming services, you just get the fat check. And if it's awesome, then you don't make any more money.
I think some people do. Some people do because you get paid on the views.
Maybe, but
Like how many times people watch it, that's when, because the subscription services have a giant pool of money.
Yeah.
And they get these films that get made, and they still have a giant pool of money. So they pay out the big ones that brought a lot of viewers because those people kept people on their platform to keep that subscription going.
That's what we assume. That's what I hope happens.
I think that's how it works.
Okay. Well, then if that's how it works, I'm not that mad about it.
Yep. All right. I gave it a 6.7.
Give it a 9.
I would definitely recommend watching it.
Yes. At
Well,
least once. Or
thank
10
you.
times.
Thank you guys for watching. Check out Roadhouse if you haven't seen it yet because it was pretty awesome and a super fun watch. Catch us next week on the CRWN Cinema Podcast. We're out.
Trying to buy my next meal. Seems all I do is drive.